The process of weathering, discussed earlier, takes place only because of the presence of air in our surroundings. If there was no air on Earth, there would be no weathering and no life on Earth. Air is a mixture of several gases. See the section below on composition. The Earth is surrounded by an envelope consisting of layers of gases collectively called the atmosphere. The atmosphere protects the Earth by screening out deadly ultraviolet rays of the sun and bombardment of space debris. In this chapter, we will study the following concepts: atmosphere, its characteristics, structure of the atmosphere, characteristics and effects. Atmosphere. The Earth is surrounded by an envelope consisting of layers of gases collectively called the atmosphere. The atmosphere protects the Earth by screening out deadly ultraviolet rays of the sun and bombardment of space debris. Atmosphere. The moisture in the atmosphere makes air humid near the Earth's surface and is responsible for causing condensation and precipitation.
At the time of its birth, the Earth was like a whirling mass of gases and rock particles in space. It gradually cooled down. With this cooling, the gases separated from the heavier particles. The gases then formed a blanket around the heavier particles, which settled in the center, forming the lithosphere. The gases formed the atmosphere.
Its composition. The atmosphere, as described above, is a blanket of air around the Earth. Air is a mixture of tiny molecules of gases. Characteristics. The atmosphere surrounds the Earth like a blanket and is most dynamic in nature, mobile, elastic, expandable. This is because it has a layered structure. The heavier gases are found in the lower layers of the atmosphere. About 99% of the total mass of the atmosphere lies within a height of 32 kilometers from the Earth's surface. Its importance. Atmosphere is the most dynamic of all the other three realms of Earth. Some of its chief advantages are: it is an integral part of the Earth and contains life-giving gases like oxygen. Plants, human beings, and animals need oxygen to breathe. Water vapor in the atmosphere absorbs the incoming solar radiation and does not allow the Earth to become too hot. It also causes precipitation, rainfall, snowfall, etc. on Earth. The blanket of air, especially the ozone layer, protects life on the Earth from the harmful ultraviolet radiations of the sun. The greenhouse effect. The atmosphere absorbs a great part of terrestrial radiation given out by the Earth. It absorbs this heat from below. It reflects part of it back to the Earth at night, when the temperature is very low. This helps to keep the Earth warm. This process even happens during the daytime. The greenhouse allows sunlight to enter but does not allow the internal heat to go out. Pollutants in the atmosphere are creating heat sinks and raising the average mean temperature of the Earth. This is known as global warming. Air pollution. Contamination of the natural environment by wastes and other harmful substances is called pollution. Pollutants in air in combination with water vapor form a kind of dense fog known as smog. The word smog is derived by combining smoke with fog. The process of weathering, discussed earlier, takes place only because of the presence of air in our surroundings. If there was no air on Earth, there would be no weathering and no life on Earth. Air is a mixture of several gases. See the section below on composition. The Earth is surrounded by an envelope consisting of layers of gases collectively called the atmosphere. The atmosphere protects the Earth by screening out deadly ultraviolet rays of the sun and bombardment of space debris. In this chapter, we will study the following concepts: atmosphere, its characteristics, structure of the atmosphere, characteristics and effects. Structure of the atmosphere. The atmosphere exists in layers. This layering arrangement is known as structure. Based on temperature, there are 5 layers of the atmosphere, namely the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The troposphere is the lowest layer of the atmosphere. It extends from the Earth's surface up to about 15 kilometers. Most of the clouds, water vapor, dust particles, and atmospheric disturbances are found in this layer. The stratosphere is the second layer from the bottom and extends up to about 50 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. There are no clouds and practically no water vapor or dust particles in this layer. The temperature in this layer rises from about -60 degrees at the base to about 0 degrees Celsius at the top. Ozone layer in the stratosphere. Within the stratosphere, there exists another layer in which the ozone is concentrated. This gas is densest at the altitudes of 21 to 26 kilometers. The ozone layer absorbs much of the ultraviolet radiation of the sun. The mesosphere. It extends from 50 kilometers to 80 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. Here, the temperature again begins to drop and reaches -100 degrees Celsius at the layer's upper boundary, which is known as the mesosphere. The thermosphere. It extends from the top of the mesosphere beyond 80 kilometers up to about 640 kilometers. In conosphere layer, temperature increases with height and reaches about 1700 degrees Celsius. The atmospheric gases become very rare and very light. Ionosphere. The rarity of atmospheric gases in the thermosphere allows this layer to absorb heat from the sun. Exosphere. It is very difficult to fix a boundary between the thermosphere and the exosphere. Beyond 640 kilometers of height, the atmosphere becomes rarefied. It reaches its limit at 1050 kilometers,